Ladies and gentlemen, I'm meadsy69. Welcome back to the channel. Now, we've had a look at the Type 71 twice, and we're now going to have a look at the Type 68. Now, again, just like the Type 71, this has the equipment where you could either the mobility is much better, or you can have 9 degrees of gun depression rather than the usual 6. Just like the Type 71, I wouldn't use this with the extra gun depression. I would use it with the other one, and it makes it more of a medium tank. And because of this equipment, I would almost probably say that this is one of the best tier 9 heavy tanks in the game, just through one equipment change. If you run it with the 9 degrees of gun depression, it's not bad, but if you run it with the improved suspension, then it becomes a very, very good tank, just like the Type 71. Now, unlike the Type 71, in my original review, I didn't show the armor profile, and all these new tanks I will try to show the armor profile for you guys to see, because you can see the armor, how thick the armor is in the game stats, but it doesn't show you the effective armor. So I do really need to do these more. So looking at the Type 68 dead on, you can see you got the front plate, the lower plate, and kind of the upper deck plate. So the upper plate is almost impenetrable. I mean, if you look at that in the game, it says, well, standard is 127 millimeters, but when you're looking at it from this angle, actually it's like almost 400 millimeters effective. So yeah, nothing's really gonna go through that. The middle section on the front plate is 278 millimeters effective, so that is still strong. People will be able to penetrate you if they switch to premium ammo, but the fact that they have to switch to premium ammo to hit that front plate is very, very strong. And the lower plate there, effective as 189. So of course you do have to hide, you do have to hide that lower plate. You've got the front of the turret there. On the right of the gun, 260 millimeters effective armor, and on the left, pretty much the same. You do have that hatch on top, which is really weak, but I mean, it's very, very small. You lift your gun up in the air using your 6 degrees of gun depression or your 9 degrees of gun depression, that will become very difficult to hit. So yeah, I mean, just like the Type 71, it is a super, super strong tank. So the stats of the tank, I mean, the tank itself, I think looks pretty nice. I do think it looks like a beast, to be honest, and it really is a beast of tier 9. When you're up against tier 8s, they will struggle to penetrate you if you put the tank in the right situation. So again, just like the Type 71, do run it with the improved suspension, because it really is worth it. Now, as you can see, the turret standard is 203 millimeters and the hull is 127, but we've already shown you that you can't really go by these armor numbers in the game. The DPM 2479, that is run it with the rammer. Reload time is 9.68, penetration 250, and on your heat it is 340. You can pump that up, you can run calibrated shells if you wish, but that will lower your DPM a little bit. And considering that you're going to play this tank like a heavium, I would prefer DPM over that penetration. The penetration should be enough to deal with most things. A 400 alpha, 340 on your heat, and 515 on your HE. 4 seconds and 0.344 seconds on your aim time and dispersion is not great, but it does go 40 kilometers per hour, and of course 6 degrees of gun depression if you don't run it with the extra gun depression, which I honestly wouldn't do, because it is just like the Type 71, but in my opinion it could even be better, because you're coming up against tier 8s, where most tier 9s are better than tier 8s, and it's a lot easier. So even if you run it with just the 6 degrees of gun depression, you've still got a strong turret, but you go much quicker. You're more maneuverable, and you can just get more bounces. You can get more bounces. Now, look at it. I mean, you're going really quick for a heavy tank. You are really going quick, 40 kilometers per hour there, and you can traverse really, really quickly, as you can see here. And just like the Type 71, people will struggle. Medium tanks, light tanks, they'll struggle to circle you. They won't be able to circle you because your traverse is just too quick. Also, you can still run it just because you've only got 6 degrees of gun depression. You can still get in those positions where you are hold down and you are using just the 6 degrees of gun depression, and it still works. If you can get yourself into a position where 6 degrees of gun depression is enough, then it will still work. You don't need 9 degrees of gun depression. Yes, 9 degrees of gun depression is nice, it really is nice, but on these tanks especially, it benefits the tank more if you run it with the improved suspension over the gun depression equipment. So we're going to get into it now. I mean, we're getting there really quick. There's only 4 tanks left alive. Just a minute and a half gone, we managed to destroy most of the enemy team. And you can see just for a heavy tank how quickly I get into the position that I want to be in. And at this time it's a 7 versus 3, and it's not a problem. The enemy do have excuse me. The enemy do have 2 cap points, but there is still a lot of time left. We're still winning on supremacy points, even though we don't have any bases, because we've just got the kills. So we're in no rush. I'm just going to wait for the Emil. I mean, I could just go out and risk getting shot a few times, but I just wanted to be patient, wait for my team, and then go and get that shot off. And you can see I've still bounced for 640, which isn't the best, but I haven't really been into a position where I can get them bounces. I got the bounces, I got into the position once, and I did get the bounces. But with this, it is more of a brawling tank. It is more, you can brawl, you've got the DPM to deal with most tanks, to be honest. You've got the penetration to deal with most tanks, and of course you have the speed also to deal with most tanks. So if you want to go with your mediums, go with your mediums to support your mediums, because if you come up against enemy medium light tanks, etc., they will struggle to penetrate you. They have to get either switch to premium rounds, or they have to get behind you, and you've got a nice 400 alpha gun coming at them. You can of course you can ram them, but I honestly would think this, I would honestly suggest to play this like a medium tank. Help your mediums out as much as you can and just bully them, really bully them. And yeah, very easy game there for us. And that was my first game, and because I played the Type 71 before this, even with the new equipment, I already knew how to play this tank. I already knew what I was going to do. I wasn't going to run it with the extra gun depression. No chance. This whole line, if you can run it with the improved suspension, run it with the improved suspension. It will really pay off, and it is actually much more fun. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, guys. I'm meadsy69, and I will catch you tomorrow for the Tier 8 Japanese heavy tank, which is an absolute beast. With